would now invite Mr. Sandeep Marwa, Chancellor, AAFT University, to talk about more creative trends. The NEP is talking about the creative trends. It is talking about the interdisciplinary and the multidisciplinary study. And even at the school level, sir, there is a lot of art integration that we are talking about. We've had conversations at various events, and we've been talking about bringing in creativity and more creativity into schools rather than schools, children just focusing on the sciences or focusing on just, getting the careers which are more predictable, let us say. That is the engineering or going to the for the MBAs later on, or going for medicine. The creative careers are knocking our doors, and there are a lot of opportunities with the children, even in the entertainment, even in the design. So all these, we are talking about the diversity we have as a country. We've not been able to tap that potential, whether in schools or in colleges. So what are your thoughts about it? You've set up a full university which caters to the creativity. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, Jyoti. Uh, Let me first say a very happy new year to everyone. I'm feeling thrilled, excited to be part of this beautiful conference where probably the cream de la cream of the education industry is right here with us. Uh, Morning, everyone. I'll speak, I'll express myself probably in three major points. Let me start with two lines कि सभी दिशाओं से शुभ सुंदर भाव विचार भरे नित अंतर पुण्य धरा बन जाए स्वर्ग ये मेरे यत्नों से करुणा कर. The fact is that the two very important things, bhavnaएं or vichar dhara. I mean, whatever you're talking, absolutely right, 100% correct, and it is worth listening. I'm feeling like a student today after listening to such an important dignities. But then my point of view is that unless and until any and every education, whether it's a school or at a university level, if it is not catering to development of your emotions and development of thinking something extraordinary out of the box, then any and every education is a failure from my point of view. It's not that I'm only talking about creative world, I'm talking about each and every segment of education industry. We have to see to it that we are building up a good human being. That should be the first policy of every education institution, school to college to universities to any level. Very important, because that's what is missing. And since I'm dealing with the students and I feel that emotions are missing, discipline is missing, so many things, and we have to work on those things on a priority basis. And I am not talking something new, but I'm just repeating the words of my own prime minister when he was referring these words into the education conference, that we are losing on these points. Sanskar उन्होंने बोला था, then I'm talking about the same thing in probably in different words. That means this is the first part of education system. How modern we may be, whether it's a pre-COVID, post-COVID, or even we have to face another pandemic this year or next year. Trust me, this is going to be the base of our education, and that's how we are operating from last 30 years. Now, second, the question which you have put in, very important, because I am also part of the some other boards where school education is being taken care of. And we have started working when it comes to school education. We have categorized into 5 major points. One, oral learning, very important, through sound and music, whether it's a pre-nursery or probably up to 8, 9, 10th class, we are using the system of sound and music. Very important, because that reaches much faster than even our own expectation in the heart and mind of the student. Second is a division of education into physical education, which means through movements and through touch. That's how we are using the system. Third is logical. Kids are small, but I'm sure you must have noticed even at your own home that your son or granddaughter, probably they want to ask so many questions for one instruction you are passing. So the whole thing is to be changed. Now, this is called logical teaching. You have to give reasoning and bring in system into each and everyday education. The next is social point of view, social education, where we are building up peers and groups. And a kid, then they start learning how to live in a community from that small segment, small part of group. And then solidarity learning, which means the student must be given a kind of an education where a school student should be or must be in a position to learn of its own self. Now, this is what is the new trend in school education. Don't forget that we have 15 lakh schools, and out of those schools, students are coming back to us. And if school education has not changed, if it is not up to the mark, if it's not trendy, then all of us in a higher education going to suffer, and we're going to have trust me, bogus students, and we are suffering. I mean, like, if I'm not wrong, I do enter into the interview sometimes, surprise visits, and then I get a shock of my life that students are not up to the mark when they come even from good schools. So this is how we are working on the other segment, the school education. And I'm very happy that schools are now so receptive. They're so ready to change. They're so worried about because there's a huge money in school education. Let me tell you that. Now, when it comes to higher education, I have categorized now into a few segments. Number one, that yes, everyone has said, I'm repeating it, that it's a digitalization, and I put it as a digitalization or digital responsibility. Online education is going to be there, is going to remain now, is not going to wipe off. Even if all students are back into the university, this is going to be a trend, a style, a method of teaching students, and it's for the betterment, trust me. So we all have to we have to prepare ourselves for a better systems, better internet connections, better laptops. Students we have to induce them to have a better apparatus and things like that. And this is an ongoing process. I'm sure government is also now planning to give students loan on a much lower rate of interest to buy new laptops and things like that. And this will now, things will improve on this side, and this will become a practice. Second, the most important thing is a computational thinking, which is very important now in higher education, where you have to think like a computer. Put a question and you're getting six different answers from six different students, and which is, somewhere has very well said it, a project based kind of a learning, discussions which are more required now because you are online, and student is not interested in going back and reading the book. So his reading, his knowledge, his intelligence, his alertness is going to be the discussion part. The put up a question and try to take 30 answers, 20 answers from the same class. And that's what is going to be a opening up of the mind. Everyone with their little experience, little knowledge, they're going to give you answer, and you never know, probably one of them may be answering better than what even the teacher is thinking about on that question. The third part, which I've realized very important, is going to be the collaborative classrooms. Now, this is how we have to, small workshops, discussions, workshops, seminars, symposium, interaction programs, talks, these kind of things. This has to be a lot now. Um, uh, you have to bring in the brains from outside. You have to bring the knowledge from outside the walls of your institution and provide to the student so that he becomes much more aware of what is happening in the world. The fourth point, obviously, which people have already put in, it's like a innovative ways. Every day you have to think how to attract the students back to the classroom, back to the webinar, back to the system, how to impress him, how to, that's innovative. I mean, that's, everyone probably has his own way of teaching. Those primitive ways of chalk and talk is over. That's over for sure. And you have to bring in the equipments, you have to make some films, you have to bring in the practicality into the classes. This is innovative ways. It has to be like that. Next, what I have realized is going to be the skills and the workforce preparation. Now, somebody has put it very well in other words, that you have to, whatever you are learning, and it answers your question also, that this is a subject you're learning, but you have to learn practically that what it is ultimately going to be in the industry. You're learning hospitality and tourism. If you're only learning theory, you're a disaster, you're a failure, because then you don't know how to operate yourself, how to behave with the public in hotel, how to be a cook right into the kitchen, and how you have to operate maybe at the reception. So that means anything and everything has to bring in with a skill kind of a thing. The courses they have to be, all courses have to be a skill oriented and industry oriented, which is very well said, which people have said. And then student led learning. I mean, then now that means let the ideas also come back from the student, from the classroom, and we all have to be very alert, conscious, and instantly prepared for change, instantly prepared. So if student is asking for a b c, then we don't have to get into discussions or a file system ke file jayegi sab chancellor sab sign karenge tab. No, you have to immediately bring in that change, because students expect that if I'm offering you this idea, it has to be brought down to the classroom, if not today, maybe tomorrow. So we have to bring in this kind of a learning into the system, very important. And then is again connecting guardians is very important. Now what I've realized, that time has come back again, where probably we have to be in touch with the parents, school or college, where we have to brief them that how we are preparing ourselves into education system, and how we are preparing your children, and what kind of an environment you have to provide at home, because we are putting 100% into bringing this change on the table, and parents are still very primitive, and they're forcing their kid कि तुमने किताब नहीं पढ़ी, तूने होमवर्क नहीं किया अभी तक, तूने कल की तैयारी नहीं की, तूने अभी तक चैप्टर नहीं पढ़ा. That is not required probably, because student and teacher, they know about it, and parents, they don't know about it, and it is creating unnecessary kind of a irritation and things like that. And last point, probably it's emerging technologies. We have to be absolutely prepared for the technologies which you and me even don't know. Trust me, people are working. And now let me tell you one small joke, because there's a guy from a small town who met yesterday a Japanese innovator who was a big thinker. He had a mobile in pen. This is a new mobile which has come only in pen. And it is a artificial intelligence which is working. Even if you have to feed the number, you have to tell to the mobile, feed Sandeep Marwa this mobile number. It'll feed. And if you want to answer, it speaks, the pen speaks what you are asking Google Devta, whatever you want to call, or Google Baba. And now this is the kind of a mobile and pen he's carrying. It's a everything in this pen. And this poor guy from an old town still carrying that Nokia 10, 12 years old mobile, which is 8 inches by 4 inches and probably 3 inches thick. And he's carrying that mobile with him. They met, and when he was leaving from a meeting room to the tea, the Japanese told this Indian from a B town that Mr. Girdhari Lal, you have left your briefcase on the table.
Right. So innovation is what you're saying is very, very important.
And in my
Collaboration.
case, the last question which you asked, probably one more minute. In our case, trust me, it's absolutely different. People are telling me working from home, my trends have changed. I have to start a new building. Probably we are adding another 100,000 square feet area, because I need more classes, I need more studios, I need more equipment, because social distancing is going to be a part of the business now. And I cannot have 30 people in one studio to make one film. film. So I have to create more studios. I'm buying more editing tables. I'm buying more cameras because I mean, for me, it's a different trend. And I'm happy that we've been able to create the first film university of the world. We are now the first film university of the world. And our trends are probably little different and little more innovative than the regular courses which are running. And I
We would
think,
we would
and
want you to come to the schools, Mr. Marva, and really motivate the children to take up the creative, opportunities, and also collaborate, innovate, create more. Whatever you are saying is actually that has to translate at the school level also. So thank you so much, sir.